y'all, welcome back to my channel. So today I am coming to you guys with a video on how I pre-part my hair to prep for my knotless box braids. I found that pre-parting and prepping prior to doing any type of braiding made this style a whole lot easier to do. Before we start, a couple of things that you're going to need for this style is some type of shining jam, as well as a rat tail comb and maybe some ponytail holders or clips, whatever you prefer. So prior to today, I had my hair in plaits for about 2 to 3 days just to stretch my hair, because I honestly did not feel like putting any heat to my hair. I'm actually trying to minimize the amount of heat that I put to my hair. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a part going from the top of my head, which is the crown area, toward the front, just ensuring that the part is as straight as I can get it. I know for some people it may appear as if I'm kind of parting my hair backwards, so to speak. I know a lot of people start from the front to the back. While doing it on camera, for some reason, it was just easier for me to go from the crown of my head to the front. But one tip I want to give you guys is to use your nose as a guide to make sure that part is centered. Next, I'm going to create a part from ear to ear. Again, I use the crown of my head as my guide. So from the crown of my head to the back of one ear, and then from the crown to the back of the other. So I have done my own braids before, and I never used 2 mirrors. I think I'm going to invest in getting another mirror because it will make it a whole lot easier. This will prevent a lot of back and forth. I had to do a lot of back and forth as far as going in the bathroom, checking the mirror, or using my phone, playing back the video to check, because I didn't have a second mirror. For me, it was nothing because, like I said, I've done my own hair before, so I'm used to it. But I believe that getting a second mirror would be a great investment, and I think I'm going to be doing that very soon. So with that being said, I had to go in the bathroom and I had to go back and fix those not so perfect parts that I had going across. In doing the back of my hair, this is where that second mirror could definitely come in handy. But the part that I'm going to make is a part from ear to ear. So from basically the top of one ear to the top of the other ear, going across my head in the back, straight across, is how I'm going to make my part. Then I'm going to take a ponytail holder just to separate it. the back of my head, I created 3 rows for the braids. So this second row, you just want to make sure that each of your rows are about the same width. So I just like kind of took a measurement with my 2 fingers. I did that off camera just to ensure that the thickness or the length of the rows were the same. So this second row that you're creating, when I created my part, I made sure that I created it in like a U shape, kind of to shape my head. Do not make this part straight across. Now that I'm all done with sectioning off the larger sections, I'm going to go back to the front and fix that part where it was a little crooked, and then we're going to continue with parting the hair for each individual braid. In the back section, I made 3 parts. Just make sure that your parts are even. I kind of use my neck, I guess, as a guide. The 2 little, I guess, cartilages, you could say, in the back of your neck, or little muscles. That's how I base my parts off of. So I made 1 part on one side and 1 part on the other, and the middle part just kind of came together after that. Once you're done making your parts, ensure that you take your hair, twist it, braid it, put a rubber band, whatever you desire, but you want to make sure that you keep your parts nice and separated. So the most important thing about doing these next couple of rows is that you want everything to have a staircase effect, which means you do not want your parts, your vertical parts, to line up directly under each other. You want the part to be in the middle of the section under it. So just continue watching and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Notice how the part is exactly in between the section below it. So after finishing the second row, I have about 7 sections so far. So I had some technical difficulties at this part. My camera cut off, and of course I did not realize it, but this section is going to be parted into 3 separate sections. Ensure you are maintaining your staircase effect. Now that I'm in the front of my hair, what you're going to see me do is use that little part that's like a little like half moon crescent, the last part I did in the back. I'm going to use that as a guide to create my first part on the side of my head. So at this point, I'm just trying to figure out exactly what size I wanted them in the front and trying to kind of compare to see if they're going to measure up to the same size in the back. So in doing that, I actually realized that those sections in the front were too large for me. So I guess I really didn't want jumbo knotless. I wanted more so just large. So that bottom section, I went back and I sectioned that one section off into two sections, and the top, the row above that one, instead of leaving it in two sections, I made it into three. So this is how it looks once I finished one side, and I'm going to do the same exact thing on the other side of my head. Again, I am using my little half crescent part in the back as a guide to my first part on the side. So I decided not to speed this part up because I'm doing more of a tutorial. I just wanted to ensure that you can see exactly what I'm doing every step of the way. If you already feel like you got it, go ahead and fast forward this part. So my final tip when doing the front portion of your hair, when you're at that top row, just ensure that you align the left side of your part with the right side of your part. All right, so in total, I have 20 different sections for my braids. This didn't take me that long. I mean, I would say it took me about an hour and a half. If I had two mirrors, I think it would have been a little easier. But do not forget to stay tuned because I will have that video where I actually show you guys how I braided my large knotless box braids. See y'all next week.